button. So we'll get started standing. And let's start with our feet parallel, hip distance apart. And we'll just start bending at the ankles, sending those knees forward in space. Working out any little clicks and clacks. And let's take the arms up and bring the arms forward. And think about how your shoulder blades are moving, so that the shoulder blades are rotating upwards when we bring the hands toward the ceiling. And that means the shoulders are allowed to lift. Shoulder blade moves and the shoulders lift. Let's do another one. And then we'll take our feet wide and we'll just start rocking from one foot to the other. And we'll push away with our toes and lengthen out the entire leg. And think about your tummy connecting, holding all of your internal organs in position. Let's take the arms out. And then we'll just start to take the arms across, one then the other. Just inviting a little bit of rotation of our torso. Continue to point the toes. And then let's go up on the diagonal. Up, up, up. So go for 4 more. And 3. And 2. And that last one. Good. Let's bring our hands behind our head. And we can have a little bend in our knees and we'll go into a tiny little side bend just in the upper part of the spine. Pull the head back in the hands, tiny little side bend. Tiny little side bend, keep it in the rib cage, so not in your waist, but a little bit higher. One more time to each side, and then we'll straighten out the arms, we'll round the spine and bring our hands down toward the floor. Bending the knees, tucking the tail under and rebuilding the spine. And we'll take the arms up. And we'll round the spine as we come forward, bringing hands down toward the floor. Bending the knees, tucking the tail under, rebuilding the spine. Scooping in your tummy as though you're rounding over a barrel. Rebuilding. Great. And then let's go onto our back. So you can use your small weighted ball or you can use your yoga block if you prefer. Head is resting on the ball. Knees are bent. Spine is neutral. Inhaling through the nose. And connecting your tummy muscles as you exhale. So think about low belly, mid belly, upper belly. See what you can get. Inhale again. And exhale, scooping low belly, mid belly, upper belly. Trying to make those deep abdominal connections without moving your spine at all. And feeling for a sense of pelvic floor. Can we pull the pelvic floor and lift it up inside you at the same time that you're exhaling? As we inhale, the pelvic floor descends, and as we exhale, the pelvic floor lifts, and we're going to try and lift it a little bit more consciously. Unconsciously, the pelvic floor descends, and unconsciously, the pelvic floor ascends when we exhale, but we're going to consciously lift a little bit more. And just make sure that you're not gripping in your bum cheeks. So when we connect the pelvic floor, add that into the mix with the abdominals. It does not activate our glute muscles. Doing one more breath like this. It's a great song actually for the breathing and the connecting of the muscles. And then we'll start to move the spine. Let's imprint and we'll come back to neutral. And we'll imprint lengthening out the entire spine and coming back to neutral. And we'll keep that going. Feeling for a little more space between the vertebra and the lower back in particular. So Joy, this would be probably one of your better exercises to do for your most recent adventure. Without going into specifics, it's a great thing for you to do. Tilting the pelvis, rolling from the sacrum and lengthening into the lower back because we're lengthening our glute muscles also. Let's come back to neutral and we'll work with the neck, nodding the chin toward the chest and the nose toward the ceiling. And the chin toward the chest. And the nose toward the ceiling. And we'll keep that going. And tipping the nose toward the ceiling, let's draw some little circles here. And then reverse it. And then let's take the ball, if you have the weighted ball, and you're going to put it in your hands. And we're going to reach and press up toward the ceiling. Shoulder blades separate, and then let your shoulder blades come back to the mat. And then press the ball up toward the ceiling, your weight up toward the ceiling. And then let your shoulder blades come back toward the mat. And we're going to press again, reach up like you're trying to push the ball to touch the ceiling, and we'll roll from right to left. And you may hear some cracks in your spine as you do this movement. My first rotation, you may have even heard it through the microphones in my ears because it was very loud. Clack, 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 as my spine adjusted itself, which is great. And if we can continue to push that weight toward the ceiling, you may have a sense of the oblique muscles warming up, getting involved at least in this exercise. The pelvis stays still. The legs stay still. Keep going from side to side. And then we'll keep the head still. Inhaling to one side and exhaling to the other side. And then let's turn our head in the opposite direction of the arms. And then we'll bring the weight down. And we'll put our hands to our hip bones and start to rock the pelvis from left to right. And so normally I do this exercise in the other order where I rock the pelvis first and then the rib cage. And does it make a difference for you today? Is your lumbar spine a little more free to do this rocking from side to side because we've already mobilized the thoracic spine? A thought? It's possible. Highly likely. We're going to separate the feet and move the pelvis in a bigger range of motion, allow the knees to move also. All right, there's that one last big clunk. And My spine is where it should be. Allow the legs to really move where you want them to go, or as far as they can go, that it feels good. I personally like the stretch in my quads and my hip flexors. You may feel the stretch somewhere else. You may feel it in the side body. You may feel it right up to the rib cage. And then we'll come back. Let's bring our hands behind our head, elbows are wide, and we'll lift the elbows, nod the chin toward the chest and curl ourselves up. And then come on back down. And again, nod the chin toward the chest and curl ourselves forward. Inhale to lower. Let's think about keeping the lumbar spine neutral while we flex in the upper part of the spine. And we'll stay lifted, and we'll do some small pulses here. And then come on back down. Let's take our sponge ball and put it underneath your hips. You can also use the rolled up towel if you don't have a sponge ball yet. And if you don't have a sponge ball yet, surely it must be on your Christmas list, right? We're gonna start to swish our hips from side to side. And with everything being in short supply, whoever's doing your shopping for you, you should make sure that they get this sooner rather than later. I'm just gonna swish from side to side. And I think Brandy still has the, on the mobility website, the recommendations of where to get different props. I'm pretty sure that still exists on the website. Let's go a little more quickly. And you feel, again, the abdominals starting to work here. And let's come back to neutral. We'll float our right leg up. I'm going to use my other right leg because for some reason it's not mirror image anymore. So I can use my right leg and it looks like my right leg, yes? The leg goes up and the leg goes down. No, I think it doesn't. There we go. Anyway, you're using your right leg. You're connecting in your low tummy muscles so that you can move the leg and the pelvis doesn't move at all. And then we'll switch to the other leg. Your left leg. Knee stays bent. So remember, it's the leg that's moving from the hip joint. The angle of the knee never changes. Getting that connection in the low tummy. Let's start to switch the legs in the air. We switch one for the other. Inhale and exhale. We bend the elbows and take the hands off the floor. Can we take our hands toward the ceiling? Let's take the opposite arm away. And we're going to scissor both arms and legs. Inhale and exhale. So lots of control in the tummy as you stay stable on the ball. Your spine is neutral. And then we'll take the feet down, take the ball away. Let's bring our hands down by our side. We start to pump the arms. And you have a choice here. We can take one leg up. We can take that second leg up. And we can lift our head. Let's inhale for a count of 5. And let's exhale, take the legs down for a count of 5. Not all the way to the floor. And then let's bring them back up to 90-90 for a count of 5. And we'll lower them 2-3 inches for a count of 5. Inhale up. And exhale lower. Feel that little bit of shake in the low tummy. Inhale, bring the knees back up. And exhale, bring them down. And again, inhale, bring them up. Exhale, bring them down. Just a few inches. Just so you feel a little more challenge in the tummy. Let's go with the last set here. And then we'll put our feet down. We're going to take our hands and cross them so they're at your hips. And it's like you're taking your shirt off over your head. You're reaching those arms up and you're circling the arms all the way around. Again, cross them the same way. The arms, take the arms up over the head and let your shoulder blades move. And again. Circling the arms around, let your backs of the hands go along the floor if you're able, and then cross your arms the other way so that the other arm is on top. And really try to keep your spine neutral. So do not arc your spine as you take your arms up and over your head. Your tummy is actually working here to maintain neutrality. Perfect. Let's come over and onto your tummy. And we're going to bring our hands out to the side, noses to the floor. We'll scoop the tummy, draw the arm bones back in the shoulder joint, and we'll back your head away from the floor and let your nose come back to the mat. So we do this exercise often, at least every Monday anyway, right? And down. And we scoop the tummy, we back the head away from the floor, working with the extensors of the neck. And you may feel that right down between the shoulder blades, like you're backing your head up out of a little mud puddle, and then putting your nose back in the mud puddle. Connect in the tummy, back the head up, and down. Connect in the tummy, keep the head on the floor, and float the arms in the air. And bring the arms down. And again, connect in the tummy. If your arm bones fell forward, pull the arm bones back in the shoulder joints and float the arms up. Feel the connection of the rib cage to the mat. We'll do that again. Feel the connection possibly of your hip bones, possibly the pubic bone. And down. Let's go again. Scoop the tummy, draw the arm bones back if they've fallen forward. We float the arms up and we'll go for a little swim here. So really letting those shoulder blades move. So we lift one arm and then the other. Keep breathing. And then we'll bring our hands just behind the shoulders. Let's scoop the tummy, draw the collarbones open, shoulders back, and we'll start to peel our chest away from the floor, and then we'll come back down. Lengthen out your legs as much as you can, and we'll lift. And down. Again. Let's throw in one more for good measure. And then we're going to come to a seated position on our block. And we can sit cross-legged or like you're riding a horse. And so you want to be on your sits bones. You want to feel them, right? Crossing the arms, we're doing our rotations from one side to the other with the eyes closed. Feel where your body lets you go easily and try to feel where you're forcing. If you're forcing, you're going too far. So just let your body stop where it wants to without you imposing any additional movement. And then when we don't force it, when we don't consciously move ourselves, which way is it harder to turn toward? Is it the right or is it the left? Very interesting when you actually stop yourself from moving yourself. My side changed actually when I listened to what my body was saying. We're putting our ball underneath the arm of the side that is harder to turn toward. So for me, I always thought it was the other side, but today, for some reason, it just popped up as being this side. That I was trying to force myself a little bit further. So try and find your weight in your sits bones. Be as tall in your spine as possible while we wake up our serratus anterior, your Superman muscle under your arm. And then let's try those rotations again. Always easier to feel what your body can do, what the possibilities are with your eyes closed. It just takes out all of the other distractions. And hopefully it's just a little bit easier to turn in that one direction. We'll do the same with the other arm. Again, pumping the ball under the elbow. When we're used to doing this exercise, it doesn't give the same profound, oh my gosh, this is amazing, as the very first time that you feel the difference. I have several new clients right now, and it really is a big deal the first time that you feel the difference this exercise can make for you. It's fun to rediscover that with them. Take the ball away. We'll do the rotations again. Be as tall as you can. And then we'll take our block away. We'll come to a kneeling position. Hands are going to be on our hips, and we'll hinge at the hips. And then we'll come up tall. And feel how your sits bones widen as you sit the hips back. Your spine is staying neutral. Again, drawing in your tummy where you need to. Great, we'll hinge at the hips. We're gonna bring the hands up and we'll lengthen out the arms. We start to work with the back extensors here. You may feel your glute muscles working also, and then we'll come up tall. We'll bend the elbows, hinge at the hips, lengthen out the arms, and then we'll come up tall. And again, bend at the elbows, hinge at the hips, and lengthen out the arms, and then coming up. Again, hinging at the hips, lengthening the arms, and coming up, hands behind the head again, with a side bend. So possibly going a little more into the side bend from one side to the other. Continue to pull the head back in the hands. Great. Let's take our weighted ball, and your feet are hip distance apart, and we'll just use that small weight out in front. We're going to tilt the pelvis, tuck the tail, and curl it back. And then bring the hands up toward the sky. The weight up toward the sky. Again, tilt the pelvis, tuck the tail, and curl it back. Inhale as we come up. And we're moving that weight with purpose, right? We're not just flinging it up toward the ceiling. And that's where having the right weight becomes important, because if the only way we can get that weight toward the ceiling is to fling it up because it's too heavy, then kind of defeating the purpose of the exercise. So nice and slow, we raise the weight toward the sky, tilt the pelvis, tuck the tail, and curl away. Let's stay right back here. We're going to rotate to the right, back to the middle, rotate to the left, back to the middle, and come all the way up. And again, exhale, curl it back. And we'll rotate right, Back to the middle, rotate left. And all the way up. And again, roll, rotate. And inhale up. And exhale. Let's roll all the way down to the floor. Lots of control. We'll take the arm or the weight back over your head. And we'll bring our weight to the ceiling. Bring your chin toward your chest. Bring your weight towards your knees and slowly bring yourself up. And we'll take it all the way up toward the sky. And again, we'll do that. Going back, tilting the pelvis, moving one vertebra at a time down toward the floor. So the weight can be helpful here to counteract the weight of your head. Bring that weight up toward the ceiling, nod the chin toward the chest. Bring the weight toward the knees and then slowly bring yourself back up. Good. Let's go down one more time. Rolling all the way down. And then all the way back. Use your breath. Perfect. Let's tilt and curl back again. We're going to take that weight out to the right. We're going to hold it here and we're just going to raise it. And we'll lower it. Come back to the middle and take the weight over to the left. And we'll raise it. And we'll lower it. It doesn't have to be high. You're going to feel how your abdominals are working a little bit more. Tilt. Curl back. You're on your sacrum. We're turning to the right. Can we raise the weight? Weight just a little. Bring it down. Back to the middle, to the other side. Raise the weight just a little. Bring it down, back to the middle, and all the way up. Let's do that one more time. We'll tilt. So again, if your weight is too heavy and you can't gradually lift it, if you have to fling it or hoist it up toward the ceiling, then again, you're not going to get the same work as if it's a lighter weight. And all the way up. Good. Let's grab our elastic and we'll roll down to the floor. And we'll put our right foot in the elastic. And we'll take that leg up toward the ceiling and anchor the elbows to the mat. And here we can point and flex the foot. So feel that nice stretch up the back of the leg. Pointing, flexing, and then circling the foot at the ankle. And as we do this, make sure that you're circling well enough or big enough. The leg stays still, but the ankle is moving such that you feel the muscles in the lower outside part of your leg. And we'll circle the other way, along with the shins and the calves. But in particular, I do want you to feel these muscles on the lower outside part of the leg. Stabilizing the pelvis, let's bring the leg across the body. You can hold it there, feel that big stretch up the outside of the leg, basically from your ankle to your hip, but make sure your hips are both anchored to the mat. And then we'll bring the leg down toward the floor, circle to the outside, and feel the stretch on the inside of the leg. And your opposite hip is staying anchored to the floor. And we'll continue circling the leg in between those 2 points, such that the pelvis can stay stable as we circle the leg around in the hip joint. And then we'll reverse it. And then we'll switch our feet in the elastic. And again, pointing and flexing the foot. leg that's not working, if your leg on the floor is pressing down into the floor, feeling the stretch up the back of the leg, circling the foot at the ankle. And reversing the circles. And bring the leg across the body. Find that beautiful stretch up the side of the leg from the hip to the ankle. Make sure that your pelvic half is on the floor. Circle it down toward the floor, around to the outside. Find the stretch up the inside of the leg. Feel that. Make sure that your opposite hip is anchored to the floor. And we'll continue to circle the leg in between those 2 points. And when we can really keep the pelvis stable, we know that we're moving the leg bone in the hip joint as opposed to moving the hips. And let's reverse it. I think this is one of the nicest exercises, right? It's very good for our hips. And then we'll take that elastic away. Let's pull that left knee in towards your chest. Hug it tight to you. And then slide your left hand to your left ankle, the right hand at the knee. Float the other leg off the floor. And then we'll switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. Your head can stay on the floor or your head can lift. Pull the leg close to you. Push away with your other leg. Here we go. And then let's put the knees together, feet together. Send the arms and legs in the opposite direction. Circle the arms around. Inhale to reach it out. And exhale to circle it back. Good. Can we stay up? And we'll take the straight legs toward the ceiling. Pull one straight leg towards you as you press the other straight leg down toward the floor. A little bit of classical work here in the middle. Your hands are more towards your ankles or maybe at your calves. Never behind the knee. Your hands can be above or below the knee joint. Avoid pulling on your back of your knee. And then we'll put our head down, but we'll keep the legs up. Externally rotating the legs, heels are together, toes are apart. We're gonna keep the pelvis really still and we'll start to circle the legs one direction and then circle them the other direction. So they circle one way and then the other way. And your spine is neutral. And you probably feel your tummy muscles working the whole time. I'll do that a couple more times. And then we'll put our feet down. Hands are behind our head, elbows wide. We're going to curl up and cross toward one knee and come on back down. Curl up and cross toward the other knee and come on back down. And again, curl and cross. going. Crossing one leg toward the one leg and then the other. Lift the knee if you like. Lift both knees if you like. And then let's add that extended leg if you like that version. Try to stay anchored. The pelvis at the sacrum. Perfect. Let's bring our feet down. We're coming over and onto our side. Let's take either your sponge ball, or if your weight is a weighted ball, you can use that also. We're lying on our side. Your head is supported and your hands or knees are bent. And we're going to take that ball out in front of you, whichever it is. It could be a towel too. You're just going to roll your arm forward and pull it back so that your shoulder blade is moving. The shoulder blade reaching out in front of you, shoulder blade pulling back in position. I'll do that a few times. Shoulder blade pulling forward, shoulder blade pulling back. So I'm not rolling my whole torso. I'm trying to keep my torso still and move just my arm from the shoulder blade. Then let's move it up. So we've gone up maybe 45 degrees, and we'll do that same thing, rolling and then pulling back. Rolling and pulling back. Again. Allow the shoulder blade to move without moving the rib cage, without moving the torso. And then we'll take it up just a little bit higher. So again, shoulder blade rolling up and back. And if you find that awkward, actually I find that awkward with the smaller weight. So I'm going to lift my arm in the air and do the same thing. Allow my shoulder blade to glide up and back. All right. And then I'm going to take my weight and put my elbow here. My elbow is holding my weight against my waist. If your weight is like a dumbbell type weight, you can just put even a towel under your elbow here. And we're going to have the palm facing the floor, and we're going to start to lift the arm up and down. So it's your forearm that's lifting. And you're holding that towel or your weighted ball at your waist with your elbow. And you may feel that we're working with rotator cuff here. I don't have the weight in my hand because that's actually too heavy to work the rotator cuff. We actually don't want any weight here. The weight is used to help you pin your elbow to your rib cage. And you want to feel for the muscles working in the back of the shoulder. Let's turn our hands so it's thumb down now. And we're going to go up and down. So thumb is facing the floor. So now your palm is facing more towards your knees. We'll try to make sure that there's a 90-degree angle from your hand to your elbow. Again, working in the back of the shoulder, the rotator cuff. And you probably won't feel much of anything other than that's where the muscles are working. But it shouldn't be a big burny type thing. We're really just warming up these muscles. We'll do another one here. And then let's turn the thumb up and we'll do the same thing. And you may be surprised to find what little interesting contortions that your hand, your wrist, and your elbow want to get into just to be able to have the thumb go up toward the ceiling, but keep your 90-degree angle at your elbow. And again, it's the muscles in the back of the shoulder that are working. That can get tiresome by now. Possibly you're feeling that they're getting tired. Mine is for sure. And then we'll take that away and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So starting with your ball out in front, your sponge ball or your weighted ball, something that rolls. And we'll just start to move it away and pull it back and move it away and pull it back. Inhale and exhale. Try to let the shoulder blade move on the rib cage. The rib cage does not have to move. So it's not going far. Good. And then we'll go up about halfway, 45 degrees. And we roll on the diagonal. Let your shoulder blade move. And then we'll again go a little bit higher, taking the arm up, letting the shoulder blade move, letting the shoulder blade come back in position. Again, I find that small ball just a little too small for this movement for me. I need to take my arm in the air a little bit higher. Good. And then we'll take the weighted ball and we'll put it just at your waist, and you're going to glue your elbow to your ball. And we can take our hand so that our palm is facing the floor, and we'll start to lift and lower the arm. I think my playlist ran out. Must be 45 minutes. So nice and slow. Just feel how those muscles engage at the back of the shoulder. And it's not a gripping sensation, just that those muscles are working. And keeping the elbow glued to the ball or your towel at the waist there. And does it feel different, easier, harder compared to the first arm? And then let's turn our thumb down. So palms facing more towards your legs. Try to keep the 90-degree angle at your elbow. Does this hand lift as high as the first hand? If you've got a shoulder injury, or if you've ever had a shoulder injury, you will absolutely understand the limitations of one side to the other. And then let's turn thumb toward the ceiling and do that same thing. And is it easier with the thumb up or with the thumb down? Go. And then let's turn over and onto our tummy. We'll still use our weighted ball here. And we're going to take it into the small of your back, and you're going to hold it with both hands. Let your elbows go where they can. Sorry, my AirPod's in the way here. So your head is turned to one side. Your elbows are going out to the side. Maybe they touch the floor, maybe they don't. We're going to bend our knees and flex our feet, kick our bottom 2 times. Point the toes, lower the legs, lift the upper body, reach the weighted ball back towards your feet, turn your face to the other side. Again, flex the feet, kick the bottom for 2, point the toes, lower the legs, lift the chest, reach the ball back towards your feet, and turn your face again, going to the first side. We kick for 2. Point the toes, lower the legs, lift on the inhale. Exhale, kick for 2. Head goes down, faces to the other side. Inhale, lift the arms, reach back. Exhale, return the ball to the small of the back or the weight. Inhale. Exhale down. Again. And one more time. And then we'll take that ball and we'll come up to a standing position. So standing with our feet hip distance apart, we're going to take the ball in your right hand and we're going to take it up toward the sky. Switch it into the other hand and bring it down. Bring it up again. Switch over your head and bring it down. So if you have a dumbbell type weight, your job is to make sure you do not drop this on your foot, which is why I really love these soft weights, because if it lands on your foot, it may not feel great, but it shouldn't break anything. So inhale, take the weight up, switch over the head, make sure those shoulder blades are moving. We've done a lot of warm up to make sure the shoulder blades are moving. And we're gonna reach up. And we'll keep that ball in your right hand and bring your arm out in front. And we want your hand about the same height as your shoulder. And we'll start to bend and straighten the elbow here. And think about your connection in your tummy so that when we extend the arm, that the weight doesn't pull your body forward at all. You've got a nice connection in your belly and you're breathing. Beautiful. We'll bring that arm down. We'll reach up, switch the ball into the other hand, and we'll take the arm out again. About the height of your shoulder, we bend and we straighten the elbow. So feel free if you have any shoulder issues going on right now. If it doesn't feel great with the weight, drop the weight and just do the movement of the arm. And so right now it's not too intense, but it will get there, as we always do. Are you able to find the connection in your tummy? And so oftentimes I say that I don't like to count, and I don't. I want you to feel the muscle of the arm. When you feel you have the same amount of work that you had on that first side, we'll bring the arm down. We're going to reach up and switch the ball into the other hand. And we'll take the arm out to the side this time, and we'll bend and straighten the elbow. And if you can, think about connecting into your center to help you stay stable, especially when that arm goes out with the weight on the outside there. We want to make sure that our abdominals are engaging so that we're not shifting our torso at all. Good. And we want to feel this in the biceps. Maybe you feel a little bit in the back of the shoulder. And we'll bring the arm down, we'll reach up and switch the ball into your other arm. Keep it out at the height of the shoulder. Tightening up your tummy. Maybe an exhale as we extend the arm to help you be more centered and not be pulled over to the left by the weight. And so as much as we are working with the arm, are you starting to get a sense of how your abdominals are working here to support you in space while we work with this? Again, when you feel that you're about even, we'll bring the arm down, reach up, switch the weight into your right hand. And then we'll bring the arm out in front. We'll have palm facing the ceiling, so about the height of your shoulder. We'll take the arm out to the side, turn the palm down, and bring the arm back. So it's going to be even more important that you're connected in your center. We take the arm out, we turn the palm down, and we bring the arm back. Weight, palm up, turn, palm down, return. Make sure that your torso is not turning as you do that movement. Stay centered and stay controlled. Can we keep the elbow straight? So working in the shoulder joint, Working a whole lot of different muscles here. Arm goes out, palm turns down, arm comes back. Let's go with another one. Feel what it feels like. Bring the arm down, reach up, switch them all into the other hand and bring it forward. So we'll go out, palm down and bring it back. Palm up, we go out. Palm down, we bring it back. And again. Palm up, palm down and back. And how does it feel different? Because it probably does feel different. It would be silly to think that it felt the same. But how does it feel different working with this arm? Maybe we take the weight away if it's too much. Are you still connected in your tummy muscles? When you're there, we're going to take the arms up and bring the arm down. Let's take this weight just beside your ear and we're going to press up and down, up and down. So interestingly enough, probably because of the proximity to the center of our body, this exercise doesn't feel like a whole lot. So let's try to stay controlled. Pressing, palm is facing the ceiling. Feel the mechanics of the shoulder working here. How that shoulder blade upwardly rotates. And then you've got that little bit of resistance with the weight. Good. And then we'll bring the arm down, bring it up, and switch the weight into the other hand. Bend the elbow. Press up and again. So again, focus on the work, like the mechanics of how the shoulder blade is moving, what you're feeling in your arm, what you're feeling in your shoulder. It actually really kind of highlights things that are maybe not working well for us. And see how the shoulder blade can upwardly rotate. Elbows out to the side. And let you do a couple more here until you feel again that you have about the same amount of weight. Good. And then we'll bring the arm down. Let's put our, well, actually keep our weight in our hand. We're going to bring our chin toward our chest and we'll round our spine to bring that weight down toward the floor. And you can bend your knees and you're just going to let your arms circle in one direction. Okay, so if you need the knees bent, let the arms circle one way and let the arms circle the other way. And we'll round the spine and roll ourselves up. And we're going to go back to that TikTok exercise where we're rocking from side to side from one foot to the other. You're pointing with your toes and you're pushing away. Be as tall in your spine as you can. And let's start to kick back. So think of that puppy dog in your front yard who's not yours. He's digging up your grass. And we start to feel the glute muscle working a little. And then back to side to side. Good, we'll bend our knees. Feet are parallel. We're going to take our right foot front. We're going to circle it all the way around to the back, all the way to the front, all the way around to the back, and all the way to the front. So we touch back, we circle out to the side, and touch front. Ow, just stubbed my toe. One good thing about these grippy rubber mats, right? They really do grip. Can't always slide. So starting to feel a little bit of work in the outside of the hips. We'll switch legs, take the left leg forward, circle around to the back, and out, around the back and out. And are you more stable or less stable on this foot? You've got a little bend in your right knee, out, back, out, and back. Go all the way around like you're tracing half of a circle on the floor with your toe. Good. And then we'll go back to the TikTok again. We'll come back to center. We're going to bend the knees. We're going to touch out to the side and come up. Bend the knees, touch to the other side and up. Bend, touch, and lift. Feeling how we're working with the lower body now. So you can stay with this version, or you're going to start to lift the foot off the floor. And so that we're not just flinging and kicking out to the side. We are moving with purpose, and that foot is just hovering above the floor. Just doesn't touch. Bending the knees. Feel how the sits bones widen behind you. We're keeping a neutral spine. Your abdominals need to engage. We don't necessarily need to ask them to. Hopefully they are doing their job anyway. Good, let's go with one more on each side. Again. And we'll come back to TikTok, side to side. Point the toes and push away. Start to feel the outside of the hips working. And then we're going to bring our body weight onto our right foot and we're going to stay here. Okay, so that left foot is in the air, the arms can be out. And try to find the connection from the rib cage to the hips, draw in the tummy. Pull up with the inner thigh toward the pelvis, helping us be here. Let's turn the upper body. The legs stay exactly where they are. We've turned toward one wall. Let's come back to the middle, keep the leg lifted, and then we'll turn toward the other wall. And then we'll come back to center and we'll bring our feet down. We'll give ourselves a little wiggle because that's very intense. And again, we'll step side to side. And we'll put our weight onto our left foot and take the arms out. So we're holding that, we're breathing. And then we can start to turn away from the leg. Good, try and stay long and tall. We'll turn back to the middle and then turn to the other wall toward the leg. And then we'll come back to center. We're going to bring our hands to our hips or our thighs. We're going to bend our knees. And I want you to imagine that you're like a big dragon with a very big tail. And you're going to start to swish your tail from one side to the other side. So imagine your big tail swishing right and left. And you may feel a little stretch for your hips as well, but we're also mobilizing your lumbar spine. Hopefully it feels good. So your tail is swishing and swishing. And imagine it's like one of those big puffy ones, right? Like a real big dragon. And then we'll come back to center. We're going to round the spine and roll up. We'll take the arms up, big inhale. Let's round the spine and come forward. Hands come down toward the floor. We'll bend the knees, tuck the tail under and rebuild your spine. And we'll bring the arms up, hands behind your head. We'll go over to the side. You may feel that it's safer to go into that bigger side bend, down into the lumbar spine, back up. Reaching the arms up and down. And again, inhale. Bring hands together, bring hands to the heart. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Remember, Body Art is 8:30 on Thursday, which worked out pretty well last week.